If you have a utility meter like this on the side of your house, you can get paid to go solar for no money out of pocket. It costs nothing to install the panels, and you can immediately get a credit on your bill when your meter runs backwards, and then you get paid for the excess power you produce from your solar. There are federal and
six start at 5, 2, 1, mark. 5 minutes to the start of our Heat 1A, our H1 Unlimited hydroplanes. The fastest race boats in the world can now come out on the race course. The first boat away from the pit area is the U91, the Goodman Real Estate. So that was the 5-minute mark, and it is time to go racing. Let's run down the boats that will be in our Heat 1A. The U1, it is predominantly blue and white. It is the Miss Home Street. It is driven by Dylan Runney. He is a rookie, but he is a good one. He's going to be joined by the bright red Beacon Electric U8, driven by J. Michael Kelly. J. Michael Kelly's teammate, Corey Peabody, drives the U9. It's predominantly white. It is the Beacon Plumbing. And rounding out our 4-boat field in our Heat 1A is the white trimmed in black and gold Goodman Real Estate. It's U91. It is driven by Andrew Tate. Our boats can cut the race course. I'm expecting we're going to see some of that happen here very quickly. But before we get to that, as J. Michael Kelly is going to cut across the race course, the start of our Heat 1A is just a few minutes away, and Seafair reminds you that for your own safety and the safety of those around you, everyone must be out of the water when the hydros are on the Ted Jones race course. So it is time to get out of the water and enjoy the fastest race boats in the world. John Walters, I made a comment that I expected a couple of the boats to cut the race course. They all did.
Yeah, the race started the minute they pushed the button to leave the dock there, and you can see they're all running fairly close together. The start is huge here. These are only 3-lap preliminary races, so if somebody gets a jump on you, it's tough, as fast as all these boats are, to make up that difference and make up that distance. And you're going to see guys that want to have the inside lane. They're going to try to drag guys up there early so that they can maybe get them to jump the gun or make a mistake. You have to maintain a minimum speed of 80 miles per hour. That's kind of a judgment call now, and as Dylan cuts across the infield here to try and pick up that inside lane as everybody else is coming down the front straightaway here. So it's going to be a battle from the very beginning. Just like we said, this is a heavyweight championship, but it's going to be 4 different fighters.
Yeah, this is going to be good. So we're coming up on 2 minutes and 40 seconds. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Again, for those of you that have never seen this before, we're not racing yet. That doesn't mean we're not in the middle of a competition right now. Watch J. Michael Kelly. Is he going to make a move? I thought maybe he might jump across to the backstretch, but no, that would have been a legal maneuver, but he did not. He went all the way down to the bottom of the race course as we approach 2 minutes and 20 seconds, 2:20 until the start. Remember, our boats do not have assigned lanes. They are jockeying for position. So wherever somebody is on the course right now, that may be where they want to be. It may not be where they want to be. As John was talking earlier, you've got to have a plan B, C, and sometimes D when you get out on the race course. We will begin our 3-lap preliminary Heat 1A in 1 minute and 50 seconds. John, they're all up at the top end of the race course. Dylan Runney's going to come off first.
Yeah, the way this race course is set up, at the 1 minute gun, you want to be between, about the apex of turn 1 here and the exit pin. It's a short run down that back straightaway, especially as fast as these guys go. So you're going to see everybody try to get down there, and like you mentioned, you're either at where the spot you want to be on the race course or where you would think you want the competition to think you want to be there. So a lot of this is just head games, and a lot of it's playing the game.
And another piece to this puzzle that we talked about earlier, but not yet during this heat, the boats cannot drop below 80 miles per hour. So that really affects how you fight for these positions. You can't just go park in a lane at the top end of the race course. You have to maintain at least 80 miles an hour. That will be determined by the officials when we finish the heat and the boats come back to the pit area and they look at the data recorder. So now inside 1 minute, they were pretty much where you were talking about, John, and right now it looks as though Dylan Runney in the U1, the Miss Home Street, is going to sit in lane number 1 up the backstretch. That's going to be his teammate Andrew Tate sitting in 2, lane 3. It looks like Corey Peabody, but we're going to watch where J. Michael Kelly might slot. He's coming up behind the boats, and we are inside 35 seconds. John, there at the top end, We're going to be racing here inside 25 seconds.
Yeah, they're all in pretty good shape. Dylan may be a little bit early, and you saw J. Michael Kelly last week, get up there too early, and he had to make a decision. Do I jump the gun or do I get disqualified? If you jump the gun, at least you get to continue to race. It's about 7 seconds off the exit pin, and here they come.
Inside 10 seconds now. They come down to the start. It is Runny in 1. It is Tate in 2. It's Peabody in 3. On the outside, J. Michael Kelly. We are 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. Mark, it looks to be legal from here. We'll call them as they are on the water. And John Walters said that Dylan Runny didn't bring a lot of boat speed down as he was early. He's going to trail the field into turn 1. Our leader on the outside is J. Michael Kelly, but he's already been passed to the left of him on the inside. That is going to be Corey Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing, and inside of him, it is Andrew Tate. It is Tate. It is Peabody up the backstretch. Halfway through, Peabody on the outside. He's up by about 3 boat lengths. But now, John, it's that inside lane position that Andrew's got at the top end.
Yeah, Corey's really in the best position here because he can control, how wide and how early, they get into the turn there. So he's going to try to hold and maintain that radius around there as they start down the straightaway towards the start-finish line at the end of lap 1.
A boat that's showing me an awful lot of speed right now is J. Michael Kelly because he's staying in the mix here, and he's running the biggest race course on the far outside. Our 4th place boat across the line is Dylan Runny in the home street now, down to the lower end of the race course. It is still Corey Peabody. He's running in lane number 2. He's holding Andrew Tate to a nice tight line on the inside. He's driving him legal, John. He's giving him enough room, but he's not giving him any more.
Yeah, he's not giving him any extra, and he knows exactly where he's at. He's got spotters that are telling him he can see the race course himself very well, and he knows as long as he can pinch, Andrew in that first turn there, that he's going to have to come off the throttle to maintain his boat speed so he doesn't slide out into that rooster tail. So he's actually controlling the first turn, even though he's not in the lift in the first lane.
I've been making the comment all weekend long that nobody has solved the Corey Peabody puzzle, and once again, he's out almost by a rooster tail. J. Michael Kelly on the far outside has got his sight set on Andrew Tate, but that's going to be a tall order as the boats go down to the bottom end of the race course for the 3rd and final time. Our leader off the exit pin, Corey Peabody, got almost a full rooster tail now on Andrew Tate on the inside. Tate, our top qualifier. Our Beacon Plumbing with Corey Peabody was our 3rd fastest qualifier, but John Walters, they've got a good race setup, and he's walking away from our top qualifier up the backstretch.
They've got an excellent race setup. The water was good. Corey did a really good job, and like I mentioned earlier, lane 2 is the place you want to be here. This is a big, wide race course with big turns, and boy, you get on any farther outside than that, it's a long, long ways around these turns. But Corey was in a position to control that first turn and really put him in a position to win.
Checkered flag flies. Corey Peabody in the U9. Beacon Plumbing, 2nd place, is going to go to our top qualifier, Andrew Tate, U91 Goodman Real Estate. Then it's J. Michael Kelly in 3rd, driving the 8. That is the Beacon Electric. And the man who was a little bit early at the start, you saw how it can cost him, Dylan Runny in the U1, the Miss Home Street. You talked about it, John. You said maybe Dylan was early. He came off the corner. The other guys were behind him, got to put the foot down. They brought the momentum to the line. And unfortunately, as you said prior to the heat, you can't let these guys get the jump on you because they're just too quick. You'll never catch them in 3 laps.
Exactly. And in the old days, you used to be able to sneak up there a little bit early, and you could back off the throttle. You could, use up some extra time going wide in the turns or whatever. But if you drop below 80 miles an hour, you're going to get penalized now. So you put yourself in a real tough position. You want to get up there and put yourself in a good spot to be able to get the lane that you want without having to forfeit the boat speed. And
you have no right-of-way. The boats behind you, coming up behind you, have the right-of-way, but it worked out well for Dustin Eccles because he was way in front of Jamie Nielsen, and he made sure to give his boat a squirt, so he got away, so there was no interference with a boat that was already on the race course, that being Jamie Nielsen in the Legend Yacht Transport, presented by the Old Cannery Furniture Warehouse. Up the backstretch with 155 until the start. Dustin Eccles is up there first. He might be a little bit early, John. You were saying he wanted to be down here at the lower end at a minute. Remember, he can't just slow the boat down. He's got to stay above 80 miles per hour.
Got to stay above 80 miles per hour, maintain a planing attitude. And you want to be about about the apex to the exit pin when the 1 minute gun goes off. Now, you've already heard and seen some jockeying going on. If you hear that popping and banging out there, that's a compressor stall where the bleed band is locked closed, and it's getting down to a point where the bleed band is closing and the fuel control gets unhappy and the compressor stalls. Dustin's a little bit early there. If he backs off the throttle here, he risks, going under 80 miles an hour and could be penalized a lap or even disqualified. So as we're getting for the countdown for the 1 minute gun right now.
3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. I think Dustin's going to be okay. He went deep into that corner to scruff off a little bit of time. Now he can swing it back into an inside lane. The boats don't determine their final lane until the entrance pin of the upper corner up by the bridge. So they could still see a lane change at this point, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think that's the way they're going to come to the line. Dustin Eccles in the U40, the flavor pack, is going to sit in lane number 1. Lane number 2 is going to go to Jamie Nielsen. That is in the Legend Yacht Transport. That is the Chartreuse and Royal Blue. Then it is going to be Bobby King in the red trimmed in black Graham Trucking to U12. We'll have Gunnar O'Farrell on the far outside and trailing the field coming to the line. We are inside 20 seconds until the start. Watch the boats fan out on the top end of the race course, and then a run down to turn number 1. And we are inside 10 seconds. Now look at Bobby King. He's got speed bringing it to the line. Is he too early? We are 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. Boats are across the line. Bobby King appears to have a good start, and it is a legal start. It is legal. Bobby King, the rookie, going to take him down to the lower end of the race course, but he's got Jamie Nielsen with him, and also now Nielsen takes over the lead on the inside. Off the corner, coming up the backstretch, Jamie Nielsen, U11 Legend Yacht Transport looking strong. Again, another good start for Jamie Nielsen, John, as they go up the top end of the race course, but he's got company in Bobby King.
Yeah, Jamie made a really good start up there, and when Dustin got up there a little bit early, he had to slide out wide just a little bit, and Jamie slid inside of him there, got the number 1 lane. So, like I say, I think that flavor pack boat's got a little top end on everybody here. Jamie was able to, reel in Bobby there in the 12 as they got down there, and boy, they've got a real good race going here as they go to the first turn at the end of the first lap.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 down to the bottom end of the race course. It is Jamie Nielsen in lane number 1. Bobby King with a good start and a lot of boat speed is sitting in lane number 2. He is in position number 2. And then keep an eye on Dustin Eccles. You said he had top end on everybody. He might, and he's going to try and use it, and he's got his sights set on Bobby King. The race may be for second place, but I'll tell you what, Jamie Nielsen cannot relax. He's got a right side rear view mirror that is full of the rookie Bobby King. Graham Trucking running very strong up the backstretch. We are in the middle of lap number 2. Still anybody's race up at the top end. Where is Gunnar O'Farrell? There he is. He's halfway up the backstretch. So O'Farrell is still running in 4th place. Jamie Nielsen's going to come down and put 2 in the books, and that is going to be in 1st place. But look at the run for 2nd place. Here comes Dustin Eccles on the outside, the flavor pack. He flies the 40 as he drives around Bobby King on the outside, but King's going to have lane position on the inside. This corner's going to be very interesting for our 2nd place battle. It is the flavor pack, U40 Dustin Eccles. He has now taken over 2nd place. He's holding Bobby King in tight, but our leader with a full 2 rooster tails over those 2 boats remains Jamie Nielsen. Legend Yacht Transport presents the Old Cannery Furniture Warehouses at the top end of the course and looking strong. Don't count out Bobby King. He's still got lane position up here, and Dustin Eccles is going to have to drive a great big race course to go outside the wake of Jamie Nielsen. But coming down to pick up a checkered flag here, at least unofficially in our Heat 1B, Jamie Nielsen, U11 Legend Yacht Transport. 2nd place is going to go to Dustin Eccles in the flavor pack. 3rd place to Bobby King in the Graham Trucking, the U12. And coming off the top end of the race course in the U60, the Beast Unleashed presents Miss Thriftway rookie Gunnar O'Farrell. He will come by and he will score. That was an interesting start sequence because we're getting some really good examples of coming to the line too early, having to pull your foot out, lose a little boat speed, etc. And we can see how it can cost you. But I was impressed with the rookie, Bobby King. He put that 12 across the line first. There were others with more boat speed. that being Jamie Nielsen. And Jamie Nielsen's just been doing that all year long.
Jamie's been doing that all year straight away, and it's only about a 7-second run from the exit pin to the starting line.
And you were talking about J. Michael Kelly and Dustin Eccles maybe trying to find a way inside of Jamie Nielsen. Meanwhile, radio personnel to Jamie Nielsen are saying, don't move, don't, oh, look at this, look at Andrew Tate. He's going to jump over to the backstretch. Now, Andrew does not have a right-of-way here. He's got to be careful, and J. Michael Kelly went right through the rooster tail of Andrew Tate, and I'm telling you right now, the officials are going to take a look at that one. The boat that is on the straightaway has the right-of-way. J. Michael Kelly had the right-of-way there, and it is going to be a question about Andrew Tate. A boat entering the course from the infield does not have the right-of-way. I'm sure the officials are going to take a look at that. We'll call them the way they are on the water. And at the top end of the race course, it is Jamie Nielsen. He is right now in lane number 1. Kelly is in 2. It is Andrew Tate in lane number 3. Watch him come off the top end of the race course. But we're still a minute 30, still a minute 35, John, until our start. So they got to go all the way down and around again.
Yeah, they're going to cruise down here, staying above that 80-mile-per-hour minimum, trying to establish and hold these lanes. Like I say, if they can get down to the first turn here about the apex when the 1-minute gun goes off, they'll be in great shape. You'll see them accelerate and start up the turn. Now, they can still change lanes until they get to the score-up buoy here, which is the entrance pin of the second turn.
Up at the top end of the race course by the floating bridge. So you've called it about 1 minute. They want to be down at the apex of the lower corner. That's where they are right now with 2-1 mark, 1 minute. And it is Jamie Nielsen sitting in lane number 1. He is in the Legend Yacht Transport. Then it is J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric. That's the red boat in lane 2. Coming up behind them is the predominantly white boat, the Goodman Real Estate, with Andrew Tate. And it looks like making a charge on the outside is going to be Dustin Eccles in the U40, the Flavor Pack, 37 seconds, John, as they go up the backstretch.
Yeah, they're all in pretty good shape right here. Actually, you know, from J. Michael K back, they're in excellent shape, and you can see they're going to start accelerating, getting after the power here. They're going to have a little bit of a speed advantage by the time they get to Jamie up there, but he's still in control of this field right now.
Jamie Nielsen is in 1. Kelly is in 2. Tate is in 3. Eccles is on the outside. They are at the exit pin of the corner at 11 seconds. So they're going to have to hold back here just a little bit. We are inside 10 seconds. Now they start to come up on the power curve. Going to be a pretty start. We are 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. And we are racing in Heat 2A. The start appeared to be good, but we'll monitor the radio. And it is going to be Andrew Tate and J. Michael Kelly that are going to get down here first. And they are literally side by side. But once again, Jamie Nielsen with the lane position on the outside. They're going to come off the corner 3 wide. The start is under review. We'll keep an ear to the radio. Look at them 3 wide down the backstretch. And now J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric starts to move out a little bit on Jamie Nielsen, but he's bringing Andrew Tate with him. The two of them are tied together as they get to the top end of the race course and enter into turn number 2. Nielsen with the lane position on the inside, but boy, John, we got a barn burner on the outside.
Yeah, we absolutely do, and Jamie's got the inside lane, but he's really having to watch himself as the other 2 boats have got overlap now, and they're starting to put the pinch on him, hoping he'll have to back off the throttle, and then they'll give them a clear advantage to move over to that inside lane.
One lap in the books with 2 more to go. It was J. Michael Kelly by about a boat length and a half, but now Tate has closed that up. He's basically pulled up alongside Mike. The 2 of them are going to come off the lower corner virtually side by side. Looks like 1 boat, but now we see a little bit of white. We can see Andrew Tate, Goodman Real Estate, Beacon Electric tied together up the backstretch, and watch on the outside. Dustin Eccles in the Flavor Pack. He's not being lost. He was in 4th place. He has now moved past Jamie Nielsen as they get to the top end of the race course. Dustin Eccles driving a mighty big race course, but our leaders still tied together as they come down to put 2 in the books, John.
Yeah, as they come down this straightaway here, J. Michael Kelly's got the catbird seat. He's, you know, the inside lane, even though he's not in lane number 1, but he's able to, you know, keep Andrew on his hip right there and really control the race course. The boat is accelerating good. They got great boat ride.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Andrew Tate really flew the 91 as he got down to the corner. Kelly's going to come out first. Now he's opened up a little bit of water on Andrew Tate, making about 4 or 5 boat lengths. I'm telling you, Dustin Eccles not going away in 3rd, but I don't think he's going to have enough time to run down Andrew Tate. J. Michael Kelly, you heard John Walters say he is in the catbird seat. He's sitting on an inside lane. He's just got to negotiate this north turn, come through clean, come down, and he will pick up a checkered flag and an apparent 400 big points, and that's going to be huge in the national high point standing. We'll get to that later. Here they come, top of the course, come down to put 3 up and 3 down. Checkered flag flies. It is J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric. He will finish first. Andrew Tate will come across in second place. A hard-charging Dustin Eccles will come across in the U40, the Flavor Pack. And Jamie Nielsen, he will come down and finish in 4th place. He had that lane on the inside, but boy, it didn't take long for Kelly and Tate to move out on him. And like you say, then it got tight in there for Jamie, and they were holding him on that inside lane, and it's just tough to do.
It is tough to do, and even Dustin, you know, he appears to have top end on everybody here, but well, this is a big race course, and if you're on lane 3 or 4 like that, with only 3 laps to accomplish it in, it's difficult to drive by him. And typically, when you've got top end on everybody, you don't have the body on things right now, and like you say, he's kind of the main piece in this puzzle right now, and nobody's really figured that out. But I think they're going to pay real close attention to him, and hopefully in their minds they're thinking that they're going to be able to contain him and control him, not let him run away from him.
2 minutes and 20 seconds, 2:20 until the start of our Heat 2B, presented by Beacon Plumbing. Gunnar O'Farrell comes off the lower end of the race course. Behind him is Corey Peabody, and just entering the lower turn is the Miss Home Street, Dylan Runny. The boats are spread out on the backstretch right now for our Heat 2B, presented by Beacon Plumbing. Looking at the clock, 2 minutes until the start of Heat 2B, presented by Beacon Plumbing. Top end of the race course, Bobby King. He surprised me, John, in that last heat because he moved to an inside lane, not the inside lane, but he went ahead and said, I'm going to come in here and mix it up with you guys. And he had a nice start. He had a good run in that first heat.
He did have a nice start, and like I say, he's no stranger to fast boats and having to race hard. So he's going to come down here a little bit early right now. Looks like he's going to cut across maybe, and or at least he's slowing way down, trying to get an inside lane down here and be in that first turn with a minute left on the clock.
Yeah, well, what it looks like to me, if he can hold it off and he can keep his speed above 80 miles an hour and get down there, he's going to have an inside lane. He may have the inside lane. I think he's sitting tight to the buoy row right now. 1:10, 1:10 until the start, and it is. Bobby King is sitting in lane number 1. Oh, this could be a lot of fun.
This could be a good heat.
We are at 2 seconds, 1 second mark, 1 minute to our Heat 2B, presented to Seafair by Beacon Plumbing. And now, off the bottom end of the race course, Bobby King in the U12, the Graham Trucking, predominantly black, trimmed in red. He is on an inside lane. Next to him in lane number 2 is the U9, the Beacon Plumbing. That's Corey Peabody. He was a winner in his first heat. Then it is going to be Dylan Runny in the powder blue and white Miss Home Street. He's going to be in lane number 3. Look for Gunnar O'Farrell in the Beast Unleashed to drop back on the outside. He's way on the outside right now. He will drop back. He has to start 5 seconds behind the clock. I like where they are, John Walters. They were 20 seconds at the entrance pin to the corner. Look at King sitting in 1. I like it. Now, Dylan Runny, he's out in front of everybody, but he's not going to have a lot of boat speed. We are coming up inside 5 seconds. We are 3 seconds, 2, 1. Mark, it appears to be a very clean start. Corey Peabody's going to break the clock. It is a legal start, and he's going to get down to the corner first, but he's got Bobby King off to his left on the inside lane. Look for Corey to stick the white nose out first, and there he is, Corey Peabody. But he's got a left side rear view mirror full of Bobby King. I'm liking this rookie Bobby King, John.
Yeah, I definitely like Bobby. He comes from a long line of good boat racers. His dad, of course, being one of those. He's going to hang right in there. At this point in time, you know, Corey's got enough overlap. He can take the lane, but I bet that he won't. He'll give him plenty of room down there. He's got boat speed on everybody right now. He made a great start leading these guys around the upper curve.
The boat you don't see is the Home Street, the Miss Home Street. He is on the outside. He is in 3rd position. You couldn't see him up the backstretch. Here comes Corey. 1 up, 1 down, 2 to go. Still got Bobby King on the inside. It's about a rooster tail lead for Corey Peabody. The race is going to be for 2nd place. Can Dylan Runny run down the rookie Bobby King on the inside? He's going to have to do it on a big race course, John.
He is, and this is a long ways around this race course, but But Dylan's got the boat in a good lane right there. He's accelerating really hard. The boat comes off the turns, and he appears to have boat speed on Bobby when he gets to the other end there. But he runs out of straightaway just about the time that he gets in a position to make a move.
I'm telling you right now, Bobby King has closed up on Corey Peabody. He's only back by about 4, maybe 5 boat lengths, and he's got an inside lane. Bobby King is making a run out of this on the inside. King right on the buoy row. They're going to come off together. Peabody on the outside. King has taken the lead off the corner, and they're going to be side by side as they come down and put 2 in the books. Bobby King driving the daylights out of the Graham Trucking on the inside. He has moved away from Dylan Runny, who's dropped back in 3rd position. 3rd and final lap, lower end of the race course. How do we do down here? Corey Peabody found some extra speed. He's opened up about 4 boat lengths. I'll tell you what, I don't know if King surprised Corey or not, but he made a run on that last straightaway.
It's hard to say exactly if maybe he snuck up on him there, but Corey's opened up a little bit of ground here. He's given Bobby enough room inside there. He's given him a lane in about a foot, so he's got to get in there and tighten up that radius.
Now we're back to keeping an eye on Dylan Runny in 3rd. I don't know if he can run down Bobby King. He's way on the outside, got a big race course to do it. But meanwhile, here comes the leader. Here comes our apparent winner of Heat 2B, presented by Beacon Plumbing. It is the Beacon Plumbing. Nobody has solved the Corey Peabody puzzle. The race for 2nd, it's a doozy, but it's Bobby King by 5 boat lengths over Dylan Runny in the home street. Holy cow, the rookie just keeps showing me more and more. Top end of the race course, here comes another rookie. We had 3 rookies in that particular heat. Didn't look like it. Looked like pretty good racing to me. Here comes Gunnar O'Farrell in the Beast. Unleashed presents Miss Ripley. I got excited about that one, John. That was kind of fun.
That outcome are simply not going to be acceptable.
Now, we know Kip Brown was penalized a lot, but are you sure that the Albert Lee Appliance was also Brian Perkins?
Chris Francis in the pits. Are they ready to make that statement, Chris?
I think they are. They are still actually in awe of what just happened that last heat. They are buoyed, no pun intended, by the confidence they have from what J. Michael Kelly did. So they'll be inside, and Jeff Bernard, you mentioned the penalty in the last heat. Hopefully it doesn't happen to him this time, and puts on a good show here.
The truck dispatch, the U-57, a former champion here in Seattle, Mark Evans.
It sure is nice to see Mark Evans back. His name, the Evans family name, figures so much into Seafair history. And to have Mark back in the saddle after a serious back injury and have him come back to Unlimited Hydroplane Racing. Same old personality, just bubbling over all the time, no matter what he drives.
Matrix System boat hasn't shown a whole lot, but Mike Webster, a young driver, the Rookie of the Year a year ago, Chip.
This is a total family operation. Father and son put this boat together. Mike is just trying to demonstrate his ability as a driver. They know they really can't do much damage with this boat.
I'm pulling for the Lay's Kettle Cook because, Mike, they just sent up some potato chips up here to the booth.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good choice anyway, though. At Detroit, this boat was very fast. At Tri-Cities, not so fast. Here, seems to have found the speed again. He's coming from the outside, though, on the start. So this will be interesting to see if he hooks up with the Formula boats out of that first corner.
Dr. Ken Muscatel tore that boat up a couple of weeks ago in Tri-Cities, but Chippy's got it back together again.
Ken Muscatel was the guy that really put the Cutter deal together. He desperately wants to get back, but that damage that he incurred in Tri-Cities just got fixed. This is his first heat of the Albert Lee Cup. I don't think he's going to make it to Cutter no matter what he does here.
Lee, they've been working hard on that boat all morning.
That boat
slept in 48. Some of the crew telling me they hadn't slept in 48 hours trying to put this boat back together. The duct tape was still going on it as they were pulling away from the dock. So to say that Ken and the crew are anxious for this heat is an understatement.
And with a welcome to all the listeners on 950 KJR and worldwide at KairoTV.com. Pat O'Day, the floor is yours.
Well, when the helicopter shot comes up for you watching on television, look at the number 2 lane, which is Jeff Bernard, probably the quickest boat out there. But out in the number 5 lane will be Greg Hopp in the Lay's Kettle Cooker, the U100. Those are the 2 quickest ones, and they should be able to stage quite a battle here in Heat 2A or 2B.
They come around with 20 seconds left on the clock. Cal Phipps will have the inside lane, but not the advantage as far as horsepower is concerned. The advantage clearly from lane 2 is going to be Jeff Bernard in the Formula boats, but let's watch the 100 coming from the 5 lane on the outside, and he's going to come on strong as well. We're a little early at the line, 1 second. Perhaps okay, so Jeff Bernard was right there when he had to be. A little bit of a fudge there. Looks like he may be okay as far as the start is concerned in the first quarter. It is Jeff Bernard taking control of things from the 2 lane as anticipated. Cal Phipps got sideways a little bit, is having trouble controlling his boat from the inside lane there. They're running through some troughs, and out front goes Jeff Bernard. But here on the outside, far outside, here comes the Lay's Kettle Cooked with Greg Hopp starting to put the pressure on from the outside as they head up into the upper corner now, the Floating Ridge turn. And even Cal Phipps is starting to see some boat speed from the inside lane. So we've got some pretty good action up there coming out of that corner now and shutting the door. But that would be Jeff Bernard in the FormulaBoat.com, and he's got a rooster tail lead. But Greg Hopp is still trying to catch up with him. And Chip, I think Greg has a little bit more boat speed, but he's got a lot of real estate to make up.
Another example of a great start. I think he just equaled J. Michael Kelly's great start, and look at the benefit that's paying off. And I think with the start he made and the performance he's got on the boat, I think he's going to keep Greg Hopp behind him.
It looks as though at least at this point he's going to be able to do that. Hopp has made up a little bit of ground coming out of the corner. Very rough down to the lower corner now as Jeff Bernard continues to fly his boat down the back chute and takes the entrance pin now just about to the entrance pin of the North Corner right now on the outside. It is Greg Hopp putting a lot more pressure on him and laying a little more horsepower through the corner here, trying to catch up. He has pulled it within the rooster tail. Coming out of that corner now, he still has a wider course of clean water to run in, but Greg Hopp is not really catching him. He's just staying with him at this point. Into lap number 2, Jeff Bernard has your lead now. Here comes Greg. He's coming on strong now. He's coming on strong from the outside. He's drawing to within about a half a rooster tail now, about a quarter of a rooster tail. He's pulling, as you can see, from the outside to the apex of the corner. And let's see if he's got the boat speed coming out. He's got good water to run in.
Mike, he left a lot of room. I don't understand why he went so wide. I think if he would have stayed closer to him, closer to the inside, he could have won this race. But he went awfully wide on that corner, and I think it's going to cost him.
He's still putting the pressure on, though, as they come back into that north turn, turn number 2. He's now alongside. He noses out ahead at this point, but he's going to have a drag race on his hands to try to get Jeff Bernard at the start-finish line. Question is, who has the most horsepower? He's pulled virtually side by side. He's coming on strong. It looks like Greg Hopp may have it. It does look as though he has it. He takes the checkered flag just by a boat length there at the end over Jeff Bernard.
Where did Fred Whelan get this boat going so fast all of a sudden? They've been struggling not only this year, but they've been struggling for the last few years. But all of a sudden, this weekend, they're fast.
Boy, was that a finish. The number 3 boat is Cal Phipps. The number 4 is Ken Muscatel in the Car Pro. Mark Evans will be number 5, and number 6 will be the Matrix out of Pennsylvania.
And that last lap for the U100, the Lay's Kettle Cooked, was 141 miles an hour in rough water. That's fast.
And on the outside.
And on the outside to boot. Yes, that's fast. Well, there.
For the first heat.
The Mega Power Frunk with 400 liters of storage.
Because we really weren't focused on Greg Hopp, but they've changed engines a couple of times. They've gone back and forth all weekend here and changed gearboxes before today's heats. So they've obviously dialed in on something that they really like. But I did talk to Greg just a few moments before he got in the boat about passing the 01 Oberto and getting around him. And he said, you know, that's going to be a tall order, but if they can do that, look out in the final. And one more note, they also learned something from their great run in Detroit earlier in the year. They said, you know, it's a bigger course, but we learned how to run fast on the straightaways. And if you saw in that last heat, they really did make up some ground and carried it into the corner.
All right, good job, Chris. Let's check out the next boat inside. That's the Miss Red Dot. In Heat 1A, a second place finish yesterday, but a disappointing 6th here today. Chip?
If there's a sleeper in this field, I think this is it. This boat, I don't think has ever looked as fast as it has this weekend. Kip Brown is quiet, he's unassuming, but I think he's getting ready now to make his mark in this heat.
Polar opposite of his uncle Nate Brown, by the way, who's not quiet and unassuming in any way, shape, or form. The next boat is the sausage boat, the Oh Boy Oberto, a third place finish along with a first. And I got to say that, Mike, I think Steve David has got to be very happy about his positioning and this kind of draw.
No question, he's coming out of the lane 1 position in this heat. He's got a very fast Lays Kettle cooked out on the outside of him on his right, and the Red Dot will be in the 4 lane. Those are the class of this particular fleet, but the Oh Boy Oberto handles well on the inside here. Steve David should, if he gets a good start, be able to handle this field.
And Lee Stoll, you've been in the pits. The Oh Boy Oberto team as professional as any on the waters.
And they are. And Steve, as you mentioned, he is very happy about that inside pull. The crew changed out the gearbox a little bit even after the last race. So they're still tinkering with a couple of things, just doing what they do best, needing to go faster and push harder and pull in as many points as they can to set up for that final.
Mark Evans, it seems like it was just yesterday, went upside down and won the 1997 Seafair Classic here. This time he's driving a boat, Chip, that maybe not as fast, not as competitive as the one he was in a few years ago.
And speaking of quiet and unassuming, Mark Evans.
Yeah.
Just kidding, folks. He's trying to get this boat to cutter. They just tell him to go out there, get as many points as he can. But Mark's a racer. I wouldn't be surprised if he saw an opening if he tried to do something with it.
The U-22 Matrix boat with Mike Webster at the controls. Michael, this young man still looking to try to dial in a little more speed.
This is a former Cooper boat, and Cooper's not here with his Allison boat, as you know, because he is protesting the issues with the officials of the sport right at the moment and dropped out of the circuit after Detroit. But this was a former Allison-powered boat, and it became a turbine, and the Matrix people have done a pristine job. They're down on a little equipment, get a little help from some pretty good folks, however, who know what they're doing, including John Walters. So we'll see what transpires here.
Ken Muscatel, a broken boat, and I'm afraid a broken spirit right now.
And we welcome in all the listeners on 950 KJR, as well as worldwide, KairoTV.com. Patrick.
Well, a lot of people on the shore rooting for the Oberto, you know, and the boat's from owned by the citizens of Madison, Indiana, driven by Steve David from Florida, but it's sponsored by that great Seattle firm, the Oberto Sausage Company, and we'll see Dave can find that pepperoni power from lane 1.
Greg Hopp in lane number 2 is giving Steve David in lane number 1 a lane, and that's all. There's a 0 out on the clock. Looks like a fair start. Kip Brown gets another very quick start from the middle of the field. The 2 leaders are back a little bit. Chip, they come down to you.
Kip Brown is way up there in lane 4. He had a great start, but I don't think he's got enough boat. Hopefully he can salvage maybe a second or a third out of this, but it's going to be tough.
Steve David takes the lead now. They come down the back chute on lap number 1, first to 3 times around. He's going to try to run away from everybody. In second place is Kip Brown, and he is driving well from the outside, but unfortunately there doesn't seem to be the speed this time in the U100, the Lays Kettle Cook, that they demonstrated in the previous heat. Steve David is not having a problem with him.
You know, speaking of Cook, I'm afraid Dave Milwaukee's National Championship is starting to look a little cooked because Steve David and the Oberto got every break they want. They beat him one time. They have not drawn in heat, so it's going to get tough for Dave to win that championship if Oberto keeps having a great day.
Steve David turned the first lap at 140.806 miles an hour.
This has turned out to be something of a high-speed parade for 1 and 2 at the moment, but the race for 3rd and 4th, and there's Ken Muscatel trying desperately from the outside to get some points toward the possibility of going to cutter as he senses the problem with respect to the U100 boat to Greg Hopp, and he has passed him on the outside and has taken over 3rd place. Ken Muscatel getting a chance to score some points if he can keep it together. Meanwhile, Steve David has driven himself out of trouble. He demonstrated from the inside lane that he's got superiority here. He has been in the lead for the entire heat thus far, and it looks as though with 1 more lap to go, he's now extended his lead to about 3 boat lengths, Pat.
Well, he's up to 138 miles an hour. The number 2 boat is Kip Brown. He's having a great ride. And number 3 is Ken Muscatel.
too bad because he had such a great day going, but I think he's coasting to a stop, and it's going to be all Alberto. Kip Brown is going to help him in the final.
In the race for third and fourth and fifth, rather, we have a pretty good race going there too. The Matrix is working on Mark Evans out there. Mr. Webster trying to take him as well, so he's trying to get a little pride out here as this race continues to unfold. All right, ready to claim the checker flag. It will be the old boy Alberto, Steve David, at the wheel, and really never had it in this one as he passes the boat that could have given him trouble, but didn't. At the start-finish line, the old boy Alberto is your winner. Second place is going to be Kip Brown in the red dot. Third place, it's going to be the Car Pros scoring some points at long last for Ken Muscatel. And in fourth place, well, we're not sure yet, but it looks as though Mark Evans is going to be able to hold on to take fourth place in the Washington Truck Dispatch. And he does that in the U57 boat, the Matrix Systems, with Mike Webster bringing up the rear and Debbie in the water at the start-finish line, not completing this heat. Is Greg Hopp. That's not the way he figured it would end.
Now that's really sad because Greg Hopp and the whole Leland.
But can his boat win it all today? And finally, a fourth-place finish is not good enough for Dave Villwock, the defending champ. The Spirit of Cutter. How they're going to do is all coming up in Unlimited Heat 3B. You got Graham Trucking. There's the Spirit of Cutter. Miss Albert Lee Appliance Formula Boats, Miss Jillians and Miss Peterson May. Of course, it's actually lightening up. The ceiling is lifting. That sometimes means a little more chop out on the water, so we'll get a look at that as we're about 2.5 minutes away from getting this one started. And the temperature's gone up a little as the sun has started to peek through. Let us take a look at the boats and the drivers coming your way for Heat 3B. And we start with Jeff Bernard in the U5 FormulaBoats.com, Mike.
And he will be coming out of the 4 lane. He has something to prove here. He wants to run very, very strong. He will figure into whether or not the Spirit of Cutter does well in this heat. You can be sure of that.
The U7 Graham Trucking boat is J. Michael Kelly, and he is coming on strong, Chip.
Really strong. He's got to use his head, work together with his teammate, Jeff Bernard, keep Dave Villwock behind him.
Chris Francis, what's the feeling down there in the pits?
Well, racing against his teammate, but you know what? These two guys, they've shown that they can start very well. And if J. Michael Kelly gets that good start, maybe he can hold off the Spirit of Cutter on the inside lane there.
The U37 boat is Bill and Jane Schumacher's. John Zimmerman at the controls, Mike.
A replacement boat for a boat far superior to this one that crashed in Detroit. Young John Zimmerman is doing his best, but this boat isn't up to it.
Well, how about the Albert Lee boat? We talked about it. Can the title sponsor win? And can Mr. Perkins, young Mr. Perkins, Chip, drive it home to victory?
Having a surprisingly good day. If they can win here, it's going to mean even more for Albert Lee.
Lee Stoll in the Albert Lee pits. How they feeling?
As you mentioned, they're the sponsor's choice. Very happy going into this after winning the Heat 2A. They've got a fast boat. Let's see if they can turn a good day into a great day based on the points.
The fastest boat, though, the U96, the Spirit of Cutter, and no tougher driver in this field than Dave Villwock.
And that boat, of course, is coming out of the number 2 lane, and he's got traffic, hardcore traffic on both sides of this. Should be interesting.
And finally, the Miss Jillian's boat with Cal Phipps at the controls.
Not much of a chance here, I'm afraid.
All right, those are the boats. 950 KJR listeners, welcome. You're listening to KIRO 7 live coverage, KIROTV.com, World Wide Web. Hat O'Day coming your way.
Villwock has such a piece of equipment with his propeller, with his engine, with the tradition of that former Elam, now the Spirit of Cutter team. If he can be beat, only Jeff or only J. Michael Kelly could do it in this heat. Take it away, Mike.
We shall find out, Patrick, if that is the case. J. Michael Kelly taking him to the line from the inside in that 7 boat. The Graham Trucking, it ticks on down, and it looks like we're going to be okay on our start from the outside. The U37 goes across the line, sticking its nose out first, but here comes the Spirit of Cutter from lane number 2, Chip.
I think that boat is so fast, no matter how good a start you get on the inside. I don't think he can hold Dave off for 3 laps, but he's giving it everything he's got right now.
And there just isn't the horsepower. Right now, Dave Villwock is pulling him from the outside now. The Spirit of Cutter U96 has about a 3-boat length lead, but from the inside, he's struggling to stay with him at this point. Is Graham Trucking's J. Michael Kelly. They're going to be side by side off the corner now. It's going to be brute speed that's going to determine which boat is going to be able to do this. And that nod has to go to the Spirit of Cutter. There it is. Oh, he gets off the loop, flies the boat quite a lot there. They come off the corner, and he will lead across the start-finish line at the end of lap number 1.
142, 568 for Bill Walk, 149 for J. Michael Kelly.
He has his advantage down there in the apex of that turn, Chip.
Right now you're seeing mostly road performance. I tell you, J. Michael Kelly has done a great job driving. I can't believe he's as close to him as he is. I wonder what that means for the final. Maybe Dave Villawk is not as invincible as he thought.
Dave Villawk, of course, likes to fly his boat. He's giving perhaps a little more flight out of it than he perhaps like. As they go into that corner, once again, J. Michael Kelly from the inside is going to try to keep the pressure on him. He's diving into that turn with a lot of boat speed on the inside. But once more, the Spirit of Cutter comes out of the corner, and Dave Villawk is going to lead him across the line for the second time around, and he's got nearly a rooster tail, Pat.
At 144 miles an hour on that second lap. Second place is J. Michael Kelly. Third place is
Jeff Bernard,
and fourth is the Alfred Lee Appliance.
Brian Appliance and Brian Perkins trying to catch Bernard at this point. Well, now it appears the wisest thing, Chip, is to give Dave Villawk the lead and don't break anything trying to catch him.
And the wisest thing Dave Villawk can do is just be smart. Sometimes he makes mistakes when he's got it right in his hand. He can't afford to do that right now.
He's a little bit more conservative going into that corner, knowing that at this point, J. Michael is back to quite some distance now. Comes out wide to keep his boat speed up, gives plenty of lane for that red boat in case there'd be any question about that. There has been in the past, and he'll come down to claim the checkered flag. Here comes the Spirit of Cutter, winner of Heat 3B with Dave Villawk at the wheel. Second place, J. Michael Kelly in the Graham Trucking. He's having a good day out here, letting that race come to him. Teammate Jeff Bernard, who has the superior equipment in that three-boat team, finishes third, fourth overall. It's going to be Brian Perkins in the Albert Lee, and it looks like the 37th boat, Peterson May, Billy Shoemaker's boat, is going to wind up able to finish fourth overall, and that's John Zimmerman, and he's going to be very, very happy about that finish. And Cal Phipps, unfortunately, not able to perform very well today, comes across last.
You brought up a good point there, Mike. I would like maybe our own pit reporter to go down there, Chris, and we can find out how do they split up that equipment between J. Michael Kelly and Jeff Bernard, because teams have limited resources. There might be one good propeller, one good gear ratio. It'd be pretty interesting to see who gets the best equipment on that.
Bye.